Welcome back to the Century Batteries Beach and Boat Fishing Competition based at Marsden Cove near Ruakaka. Sandy and I joined Dan and Steve for a fish as a warm-up for a very lively prize giving. To me, this tournament is an absolute gem. These 2 days would be the busiest of the year when it comes to small boat traffic in and around Marsden Cove. But in this vast expanse of available fishing, there's plenty of room for everyone. We're heading up the harbour today. This is the second day of the Century Batteries Beach and Boat. Want to catch some reasonable snapper. They've been spawning up the harbour, and having done that, they start moving, and of course they're hungry. So we've got the Rule Brothers secret salmon bait from Christchurch to feed to the poor unsuspecting foe. Glad you could join us for the Beach and Boat finale. Soon, mate, soon.
Just keep it to the right a bit there. I've never seen boats like this before, ever. Down in the south, the biggest thing we'd have would be high country opening on the lakes down there, but nothing like this.
It was good to get on the water rod in hand and have the great forecast turn out to be accurate.
Yeah.
We picked up where the boys had fished the day before. Oh, nice one. Let's have a look. Yeah, nice fish. Oh yeah, serious bites there. They're just little pickers. Guys in the 30s just caught a nice fish, which you've just seen. Day 2, Century Batteries Beach and Boat. And we're just in the harbour entrance with, I'd say about 100 other boats. Various boats heading to the Hen and Chickens. Others have camped overnight on the Moka Hen House. People on the rocks, kayak fishermen. Every aspect of angling, I think, is just about covered. So we hope to catch ourselves a little feed. There's a fish on. This is good. We're using salmon, baby salmon for bait. Haven't tried it. It's worth a go if you can find them. Now let's have a look, Dan. Are we excited? No. Okay. Oh, he's a penny though, yes. Good eater. Someone caught a 10+ kilo fish out of a kayak yesterday, so that's leading. But today, the finale, who knows what's going to come over the weigh station. So our plan is to fish for a while. I'm going to have a chat to Steve Rule in a minute. Stephen was involved in the Christchurch earthquakes. It's 3 years today since the last earthquake, which caused all those fatalities, the last serious earthquake. So I just thought it was appropriate to mention that. Steve's a fireman and was very actively involved in rescue and recovery. So, Beach and Boat is a benign day. Forecast 10 knots variable. Doesn't come much better. So glad you could join us. We'll catch a feed, have a chat with Steve, and then go and try something a little different. So Steve, we had 2 massive quakes. The first one arrived, and I can remember turning the news on and thinking, that's just incredible, unbelievable. Here's the old hometown and buildings are falling to bits, but no one was hurt. So, and then the second one hit. What was the difference?
I was on duty for the first earthquake, and
Because you're a fireman.
I'm a firefighter, yes, and it was a really violent earthquake, but it seemed to be more of a rocking motion, and I think that might be because it was centred further away from Christchurch town centre.
Okay.
It was inland towards the mountains. But then when the February earthquake struck, different time of the day. First one was 4:30 in the morning, everybody's tucked up in bed.
Yeah.
And the second one arrived at 12:51, which is everybody's in the middle of town, everybody's working, and it was more violent in an up and down direction.
You were called out immediately. What's the plan? What happens As a firefighter, what's the first priority?
Normally, the on-duty crews will respond immediately, and they'll be called to particular buildings, or phone calls will come in to a particular site. But as Christchurch, these earthquakes went on and on and on, we had a system in place for off-duty staff, and when the February one struck, I was off duty, so I knew to respond to a station that had spare appliances and equipment to start then a greater alarm for what we were dealing with.
Okay, now the worst aspect, of course, was the demise of the CTV building.
Yes.
Were you involved in that?
Yes, I was involved on the second day. The first day I was involved with the Pine Gould building, which was the other major building.
And there were fatalities in that building too?
Yes, there were. They were spread right through the city, but communication was difficult. All the emergency services were spread thin right throughout the city.
And I suppose getting around the city was a big issue.
Yes. Luckily I had a four-wheel drive, so I made a direct line to my station, and I could get through areas that a normal car would never get through. In fact, I ended up by the Clarendon Towers, and I was stopped by the police and said, "Do you think you can make it to hospital?" I said yes, I think I could. And they put a woman in my back seat of my car who was about to have a baby.
Oh,
and so
really?
that was the first thing I did, was deliver a lady to
hospital to have a baby?
Yes.
So what were your thoughts early on when you saw the devastation and knew what had happened by way of the fatality aspect?
It was like a war zone. That's the best way to describe it. I've never seen anything like it before in my life, and I hope I never see it again.
Yeah. Because we saw images on TV, but of course that doesn't convey what it must have felt like.
It was scary. There's no other word for it. I've been 35 years now with the fire service, and I've been well prepared for trauma. I've never seen anything like this. It was quite heartbreaking.
So, a chance to reflect on Christchurch, and as I say, it's 3 years to the day today since that massive quake that claimed so many lives. So, Steve learning to soft bait while we reflect on the demise of people much less fortunate than ourselves.
Little guy.
So is that your first fish on a soft bait?
Here, little squishy.
Just watch that rod tip, aren't you going to break it?
I've got the rod.
He was actually all right.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I want to get a bigger one now.
Now, one thing that people seem to do frequently is abuse their rods. The old fishing rod has a natural curve, and there's a situation called point loading which will break the tip off your rod. If you want to use your rod to try and break the line when you get a snag, that's your business, but chances are you'll wind up buying a new one. Now, point loading, the rod has a natural curve. If you bend beyond that natural curve, so you really bend round beyond where it wants to go, you point load, you put extra loading on the point, and you'll snap it like a blasted pretzel. So just be aware. Don't use your rod to heave fish out of the water or to try and break the line if you get it caught in the rocks or on some other structure. Just remember that. Some of these rods, this rod's a very expensive rod, doesn't matter. It's very, very fragile. And I know if you're just learning, there's a great tendency to want to use your rod as a winch and to use it to actually haul up a new country from the bottom, but please don't, because you'll be going straight back to where you bought the rod from to get another one. And coming up after the break, time for a change. That's not bad. Any more touches, guys?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. That's a better one, huh?
That's a fish.
Sands, yeah, good work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that legal?
Look at that. Yeah, and that's Sandy's second fish on a soft bait.
Nuclear chickens one.
Yep. The nuclear chook. Perhaps the most famous of the old soft baits. I said it's just bang, bang,
It's
bang.
very light on this though. Might
Oh, it's okay. It sounds good.
need a bit of a tweak.
Enjoy the music.
Need the net again?
I think so. Can't see what I've got yet. Ah.
Got
Ooh,
off.
It's a good fish.
That is a very good fish, Sands. Now stand up so you can find it properly.
Yeah. Here it comes. Here it comes. Just moving him around. It's just a racer. He's not a very good fish. It's just.
Oh yeah, that's all right. Just
the
foul
same
hook,
size.
does he?
The hook's out, actually. Oh no, maybe not.
Oh, he's foul hooked, I think.
After catching a feed and on advice from the locals, we headed back into the harbour. I had always wondered how extensive Whangarei Harbour is, and this gave me a chance to find out.
Oh yeah, got that one. Oh, that's not bad. We're right up the harbour. Wow. Oh, he came. Oh, dumped him.
Did you let him go?
Yeah. That was pulling line. We're way up the harbour in Whangarei. I've just dumped two very good fish. Bloomin' heck. Gee, I thought I had that one. Drive you nuts, wouldn't it? So I'm just feeding a couple of squid on, one on each hook. But there's good fish here. Tony Wheeler told us there were good fish here. And he's dead right, there are, so hopefully we'll show you a couple. Now we've talked to Coast Guard about flares and the way they operate. It's good to know about the safety features of your boat, in particular with reference to what to do when things get rather challenging. So that was good, but as we came up here, we came across a vessel. The batteries had died or something had happened anyway, it was going nowhere. So Coast Guard just happened to be going by and we hailed them. So I just thought you might like a little look at Coast Guard and some of their activities. And as soon as you've done that, we will bring you back on one of these elusive creatures that keeps falling off. Buggers.
With the fishing contest, part of Coast Guard's role here is to just keep an eye on the boats generally. There's some people come to a competition like this very well prepared, some not so well prepared. We're always ready for that. We just received a call out today. There's a couple of boats out there, one just outside the entrance here that needs some assistance, and another one across at the Chicks that's requiring a tow. So we'll deal with the close one first, make him safe, and then we'll head across the Chicks. The weather's clagged in a bit, the sea mist sort of rolled in and the drizzle and rain's come in, so visibility's a bit poor, so we'll just head out and see what we can find.
Paying an annual fee to Coast Guard is an investment in your safety. None of us are free from a potential mishap, and on the water, that can be totally unforgiving.
You've never been trained for short boys, so you've never been. Sit back and enjoy it. Just, have you got a life jacket? Crack ahead. Just in case. You got it. Neutral. On. Line's on. I knew I should have removed.
Just because we've got quite a confined waterway and there's still boats coming out for the contest, we'll barge the Sky up, so we'll shorten up the tow soon, pull them right up alongside us and lash them to us in a barge position, and then we can put them on the dock and leave them to it and go back out to sea again. So that's the safest way to do it in these situations.
One down and one to go. Out at the Hen and Chicks, someone else had experienced an engine failure. Time to call Coast Guard.
Bowl line, carabiner clipped into the bowl line, and we'll throw the blue line to it, the heavy blue line, right? So the fish out it, yep. So what we're going to do is we're going to throw you this, we're going to throw you that heavy blue line, and if you pull that across until you get to that bit, that carabiner, and that'll go down in your bow. Can you lie on your bow and clip that under, do you think? Are you going to be able to?
This time the rescue involved a lengthy tow, absolutely no problem when conditions cooperate. The work of Coast Guard is absolutely invaluable. They literally clean up after people get themselves in a mess. Make the investment, join Coast Guard. And coming up after the break, prize giving. The weigh station queue was huge. Everyone was desperate to have their catch weighed and thus become eligible for a prize. The important thing was to be in the lineup before the official close. There were indeed some very nice fish, but also the odd, unusual catch. There's no prize for what this man has just caught though. What did you catch?
Pulled up a dive tank on a soft bait rod on the Stella, and yeah.
A little 4,000, you pulled up a dive tank?
Yep.
Well, what's a dive tank weigh?
Oh, it's got to be about 10 kilo, wasn't
10,
it?
15
yeah.
kilos?
Oh, 20 pounder, yeah.
Gee, man.
It was sunk, so it must have been empty, yeah.
Well, I've never heard of anyone pulling up a dive tank. Now, that's a meritorious catch, but in terms of things with tails and scales, there are a whole bunch of those that have been caught of the triple XOS variety. So glad you could join us for the prize giving. We're not going to focus on the whole thing, but there is one element to this that we should acknowledge. That's the fact that this contributes to the Snapper World Cup. So this, if it's the biggest snapper of 3 tournaments, could be the world champion snapper. The other aspect to this tournament which we should acknowledge is that there's a unique prize, and that is you can win a Surtees boat with a Honda outboard just by turning up. So you turn up, you've got your entry form, you've got a number, and you can, if your name's drawn out, you get to wear a t-shirt. 10 people get to wear t-shirts, and then you stand up on the stage and one by one they draw the numbers out, and if you're the last person standing, you'll win the boat. So I'm going to show you that because I reckon it's great. So glad you could join us. This is the finale of the 2014 Century Batteries Beach and Boat. That 10.8 kilo snapper was caught out of a kayak. It was also the largest from the 3 tournaments and became the official world champion for 2014. Not bad. There were actually 2 Surtees Honda packages to be won, and the first finally came down to just 2 contestants.
And very shortly after, there were 2 more people chewing their fingernails.
Wood, number 7.
Absolutely brilliant. Thanks to everybody, the sponsors and the organisers. Yeah, fantastic.
I love this tournament and especially enjoy the finale. 2 new Surtees owners get to turn the key on a new Honda outboard. Absolutely fantastic. And coming up on Gone Fishing, we head north in search of kingfish and get a few tips from the experts. We are using a variety of great products, all available on gonefishingonline.co.nz. Check out the rod reel combos for serious anglers and the Kiwi Sizzle range of barbecues and smokers. Great gear at great prices. gonefishingonline.co.nz.